The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
That music you just heard, it's available on iTunes. Catch it over at iTunes, 20x20crew.com/podcast/iTunes. Welcome to the show.
Speaking of hardcore wrestling, how about we fantasy book a hardcore match?
This one's going to be a little tricky for me, but let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's a number of guys that I could go with hardcore wrestling. And I don't know where you're going with this tricky part, so I'm a little nervous here. But I want to go, when it comes to hardcore wrestling, I think, maybe because when I grew up, you know, of course you have your Abdullah the Butchers, you know, you have Terry Funks, you have so many guys from ECW, but Mick Foley, especially under the tutelage of Cactus Jack, is one of those that stand out to me the most. Hardcore wrestling, it doesn't necessarily have to be guys from yesterday, guys to today, but those are usually the easiest ones to book.
Sure.
Because you know for a fact that they didn't wrestle against each other because the timing was off. How about Cactus Jack versus The Draw and Sami Calihan?
I think I just came on my pants. Yes.
I'm backing away, by the way.
I want tickets to this show right now.
It's Cactus Jack versus Sami Calihan?
Yes.
What was the tricky part for you?
For me, hardcore wrestling, a lot of it is, you know, it involves, extreme maneuvers and a lot of props or weapons, what have you. So the tricky part for me is like how much of the match is actual wrestling, how much of it is actual prop usage, you know? Because let's face it, you're in that kind of a match, and more often than not, it's tables and chairs and kendo sticks and barbed wire and things like that. And it's cool. I'm not shying away from any of that. All that is fair game to me.
You're not Jerry Lawler?
But no, I'm not a Jerry Lawler. But at the same time, the more those things are used, the more effect it has on the match. And that could be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing. It all depends who's in the ring. Mm-hmm. With Sami Calihan and Cactus Jack, you're talking about, not even mentioning Sami Calihan at this point, but just Cactus Jack by himself. You have someone in the ring who is, one, highly capable, two, has a high tolerance for pain as a human being, mm-hmm. and three, has a genius level mind for wrestling. So you have this very, very experienced in-ring worker in Cactus Jack, and he can make all the fucking difference whether he's doing a regular match or a hardcore match. So that, to me, that's where it gets tricky, because anybody can pick up a fucking kendo stick or a baseball bat,
right,
or a chair or what have you and use it in a match, but only people like Cactus Jack really know what else can be done with that.
Well, yeah, not only that, but you also talk about the offense, but you guys also talk about receiving end of all that.
Again, he has a high tolerance of pain.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the guy that takes fucking chair shot upon chair shot upon chair shot, or, you know, multiple kendo stick shots, what have you. Those types of examples. He can do that, or at least he used to be able to do that. For the purpose of this conversation, he can still do it.
So that's so important. And when I think of hardcore matches booking, I'm not just putting, again, bring up Jerry Lawler because we're watching him on the screen here. You know, Jerry Lawler, who at this point in his career especially is not really going to be taking those types of shots, you know, those big time shots. I mean, it's always weird to talk about like, oh yeah, he's going to take a barbed wire bat to the head, but Mick Foley would.
He would.
And, you know.
He would, and he has.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wishes that upon another man, but, you know, we're fantasy booking, so it's okay.
Bang, bang, bang! Bang, bang!
But, it takes a special type of person to be in a hardcore wrestling match, a good hardcore wrestling match.
Yes, that's the key word, good.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of shitty ones, you know, especially matches where, you know, you saw the individuals in the match are a little timid on doing anything, and then what's the point of doing the match? That's not going to be the case with Mick Foley or Cactus Jack and Sami Calihan. Sami Calihan can dish it out, but I've seen him take it many times. Again, we talked about this with the Sami Calihan situation. There's going to be a counterattack on him. If you don't think Sami Calihan doesn't know that, you're sadly mistaken.
Yes.
He's waiting for it, and it's going to happen, and he knows it. These two guys will tear down any arena that they go into. There is there's, you talk about no fucks given as far as Sami Calihan. There's no fear given between either one of these guys. Absolutely. I mean, there's a decently long list of guys who I love to see in a hardcore wrestling match as far as fantasy booking. These two really stood out, especially with Sami Calihan's doing right now. Sami Calihan, Cactus Jack, book it.
Definitely.
Book it, book it, book it.
You can catch us on Instagram at instagram.com/20x20crew. You can catch us on Twitter at 20x20crew. You can catch us on Facebook, facebook.com/20x20crew, facebook.com/groups/20x20talk, or you can visit our website, 20x20crew.com.
And until next week, we will
see you in the ring.